What's good, everybody? Thanks for coming back. Today I'm going to be talking about my third devlog that I have just created. So in a bit I'm going to show you guys about how much I have changed this game up by. So I have currently added about 2 hours worth into this game. So I'm going to show you real quick the changes right now, so check it out. So here we go. I managed to do a little bit of bug finding. I found one little bug that when it starts out the game, she can't jump. So everything goes back to normal afterwards. I also fixed up the jumping, and whenever you collide into a wall, it doesn't go backwards or does something unexpected. I do see that I gotta add a little bit more to the left, because you see that little blue section that's completely void of anything. So I'll probably just maybe add more of the background to that, or I'll just end up blocking the character from going so far in terms of just the background. Now also I tweaked a little bit the jumping. I also put in a stats block for the character, so now she can take damage if there were any monsters yet. The other cool thing is now she can actually die. So I gotta work a little bit with the trigger, but I'll show you guys a little bit of the code that I did to go ahead and get this started. So right now it's just really basic stuff, but I've been fixing some stuff here and there. So I got all of the colliders for the ground to work, and if I can make it to the end, you guys will see all the progress I've done. So pretty much everything is cool. Jumping. Found some errors here, but that's because after I moved to this section, the colliders or the outlines for the colliders aren't perfectly flat. They have a little bit of angle to them, and I noticed this when I was checking out the velocity of the character, and it was kind of going back and forth a little bit. But it's very minimal, so it didn't affect it, but that's something I want to take a look at later on. So I got a little bit of traps for the character to get through. Everything is pretty much just a trigger on the traps, and this is pretty much all I have been doing for the past 2 hours. So I'll now show you guys the code. So here in this section in the movement script, I went ahead and added two methods, one that's spawn weapon and the other one that gets the facing direction. Now the spawn weapon pretty much uses the instantiate method to be able to spawn a projectile. Now I'll probably do a little quick lesson on this one later on, but all this does is it spawns the projectile, and in this moment, well, I guess a little bit, I'll show you guys how it looks like, because I also can shoot now, and I'll show you guys that in just a bit. But that relies on seeing what direction the person is facing. Otherwise it'll keep on shooting in one direction only, and I'll show you guys that in a moment. So here I have the projectile directions. So here I pretty much go through finding the projectile direction at the start, and it tells the character which direction it should initially shoot at. I also grab the projectile rigid body component, and then the next ones are just grabbing the facing direction, and I'm also getting the direction of the character in the awake method. Now I have a debug over here just to start off to see if I'm facing in the right direction, also just to lead me in the right path, right? And now whenever I call on this method, it's just gonna shoot the projectile in terms of, I guess, the velocity vector direction. So this is where I actually put in the argument, and it says float direction. Now based on that direction, it's either going to flip it going in the X positive direction or the X negative direction, and then it just fires off. The next thing that I am going to show you guys is the player stats. So up in the top, you guys can see that I gave it an initial starting health at 1000. So that's something that I can always start like the character over from, and it initializes it into the current health. Now at the start function, go ahead and add that value of 1000 to the current health, and later on when he starts or she starts facing monsters, she'll be able to die because of that damage. I also created the player takes damage, which it's not being used yet because I have no monsters, and the same thing for player gains life. It's not being used right now because I have no, I don't know, any tokens or health potions yet, but I'll be using this and explaining this more later on. And that's pretty much it for this section. Let's talk about the traps. So this one was pretty basic, right? I managed to go ahead and create the colliders on the traps, and I pretty much got to find the player and connected it through the find object of type player stats. So once I find that, now I can go ahead and access the player death whenever the character falls into the trap. So pretty much that is what I was able to get to do within 2 hours. Now let me show you once again how the projectiles would look. So check it out. So here we go. I am now just moving around, jumping and everything, and all I gotta do is just hit the J button and he starts firing off, or she starts firing off all her little stars. Right? So now I can go any direction and fire them off. But the next thing I want to do is make these stars rotate as I fire them. And that's pretty much going to be the next step. I probably might be adding some more things, like maybe some monsters in the next update for my devlog for you guys. So we got a couple of things way more things for you guys to check out. So pretty much this covers my current update for the devlog. Thank guys for watching, subscribe and like. See you guys later. Late.